Hey Tony, I was going to make a quick video, kind of like a proposal on a project that maybe might be interested in with me or giving insight or yay or nay. Just I'd like your opinion after using the AP mount and your ATS tripod, portable tripod. I saw like a lot of your videos and I liked them. I had some ideas. I was thinking about doing a little project on trying to transport these a lot easier because with you have a 1600 AP and 1100 AP. I'm not sure. I keep bouncing between the two mounts and I'm on a wait list. But anyway, whenever you break yours down, it looks like for your 1100 and your 1600, you break down the deck and the RA, and then you also have your tripod. So you have to take those three things apart and put them back together every time you use them. So I kind of have a wild idea. May not be best, but I was thinking about this for the past actually couple of years, just on the side in the back of my mind. But anyway, so right here, I think if you can see my pointer, this is right here is like a 29-inch wheel, mountain bike wheel. I have one right here. You could have two of these like this and try to make like some kind of, I don't know what you call it, like a trailer or a wheelbarrow, but it won't operate like that. I'll explain that later. But we could make a frame to cradle our mounts and tripod together. And I also have a dog too. I like how you keep your dog. Gabe, come here. Where are you going? We have a dog too. His name's Gabriel. He's right here. Can you say hi, Gabe? Hey, buddy. All right. Oh, good boy. Okay. But anyway, so right here I've so this is my 20. This is looking at it from the side right here. Here's a wheel. A broken one. I got hit by a car. It's cracked right here. But anyway. So this is a side look. Here's the tripod right here. I have the legs and head, and here's the mount head right here. And here's two objects here. This is the center of mass of the tripod and your mount together as one. So you could store these in your car as one and then put it on like this transporter. I'm going to call it a transporter, and make a cradle for it and a structure for it. And right here I have my OTA. I have a 14-inch Cassegrain telescope, and here's the center of mass for that one. And I know for you have a refractor, so I don't think this would be possible for you. I mean, I could look into it. I would be kind of interested in maybe designing one for your setup or both of ours. I mean, this is just an idea I had. I might wake up tomorrow and be like, I don't want to do it anymore, but it's just a quick idea. But anyway, so here's my OTA, the center of mass for my Cassegrain 14-inch. And this isn't drawn to perfect scale, right? And here's the mount and tripod. The legs are facing up like this, and the mount head's down here. And this ideally would be over this way a little bit more. It doesn't look quite right. This is more to scale, the one on the right here. But the center of mass would be right here, and this one would be right here. I have like three counterweights, three 30-pound counterweights, and the center of mass is like roughly right around there. And when you actually do the math, the center of mass is right below the center of rotation of the frame. And so I was going to use these two wheels and get two mountain bike struts right here. The struts are going up. That's this pink stuff right here. I think you can see that my pointer there. That's the struts going up, but it's from the side. So here's the strut, and then it's a shock strut or whatever you guys call it. And I could build a frame so that like when you're going over terrain, the shock strut actually operates, and it will stay vertical. Right here, looking at my pointer again. It'll be like kind of like a pendulum. It'll want to stay vertical. And that way that the mass is always secured to the strut, so it wants to stay vertical and bounce up and down when it hits obstacles in the ground when you're pushing it. And you could have like a separate handle right here that connects directly to the axle and pushes it. That way this thing will stay centered and vertical, and you could push it, and then when it ever hits a bump, it just bounces a little. I just a little worried about like vibrations and stuff whenever I'm pushing my 14-inch telescope over a long terrain. So I have like a short story of like, we went to Virginia, and I like to go in dark sites, and maybe you do too, but we had to hike like a half a mile there and back, which is a mile, and doing like a trip for each of these things, we like walked miles, and we transported like, you know, like hundreds of pounds, you know. So after all that was a lot of work. So what I'm saying is, maybe I could design one of these for me, and maybe you could have one too. I was going to make one out of wood just for the first version, even if I even do it at all, right? But you could just have, with your 1600 go-to, I don't know, like, this is just a rough math estimate, but you probably have to do 2 trips because you have your long refractor, and I don't know if you can get the center of mass down here below the center of rotation so that it stays vertical. And there's other ways around this. I mean, you don't have to have it like this. I mean, you don't have to have suspension at all, and you could just try to get the center of mass at the center of rotation, and then it would just kind of move all over freely, and then you'd have to have one hand securing it and then pushing it with the other hand. But I don't want to do that. I want it to kind of stay sticking straight up. All I have to worry about is just pushing it forward, and then whenever I hit a bump, I don't have to worry about that too much. And then also, like for me, I live on the 3rd floor in a condo. At least I might be able to, with brakes, be able to let it go down the stairs slowly and not have to like take 5 trips. And the telescope's just awkward. It's a 14-inch telescope, and it's very awkward going down the stairs with that. And if I could make this trailer and put it in the cradle and everything, and then just let it go down the stairs slowly and just have a couple breaks and go down the stairs, that would make things a lot easier. But like, yeah, so with the telescope, you'd only have like this much clearance from the bottom, like 4 inches. So I mean, well, I guess it'd be more like 6 inches. I was like measuring it from to the ground, which is pretty good amount of clearance. But the only way you could do this is with a 29-inch mountain bike tire. And I saw that you had, like on one of your YouTube videos, you had like a crate or like a thing that you roll across, and it looked, I don't remember if you had big rubber wheels on there or not, but they're like this big or something. If they were, I don't remember. But with this, you could go over more bumpy terrain, and then you wouldn't have to break down the RA axis, the deck axis, and the tripod. Those would all be together. I'm like, wow, that would be so cool, because before I had my Optron mount and I had to break everything down, it took a while to kind of put that all together. But yeah, I'm like thinking, so with the way this works, see how the center of mass is right below the center of rotation? As you rotate this clockwise, the amount of weight that's on the strut, I guess it looks this way. I'm trying to get the camera. As you go this way, there's less weight on the strut, so the strut will go up, up, up as the more that you go this way or this way, whichever way you're going. But then the strut will go up, 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 and then the center of mass will actually be above the center of rotation. And so when that happens, so I'm rotating it, let's say I rotate it this way all the way over to the ground here. I can't, maybe zoom out more. So, sorry, that's a separate center of mass for the telescope, but the center of mass would move up this way, just above the center of rotation, and then when you lay this down, it would want to stay down. And then, oh, look, now that it's up like that, or the center of mass is like that, it's going to want to stay down on the ground like that. and then I could pull my OTA up and put it on the ground, and then this is the mount head would be what, about 15 inches above the ground, and with your 1600 go-to, that's pretty heavy. I think the mount head's only 100 pounds. Then you'd have to spread the legs of your tripod right here while it's on the ground, and then you could lift it up. At least it'd be 15 inches off the ground, and lift it up out of the cradle onto the ground. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know how far the pier or like the legs start here maybe, and then you could, that way it doesn't get in the way of the wheels when you're spreading the legs. But yeah, you'd have to, or you could leave the legs closed and put it up. I don't know if you can raise this up. I don't know. I'm asking you, like, can you put the tripod up and then spread the legs? How hard is that to do on your own? But if you can't, then maybe you could leave it like that on the laying horizontally, open it up the legs and then lift it up, and then make sure you're already pointed north. But maybe that doesn't matter so much. You could probably still move the whole tripod and mount together as one. But that's like, for a 1600, I think that's like, you have a 12-inch ATS, and I think that thing's probably 40 to 50 pounds, your tripod, plus another 100 pounds of your mount head, right? Or wait, was it, I can't remember how much the 1600 weighs. Yeah, I think it was like 107 pounds if I remember right. So yeah, I think you could, I don't know how strong you are, but I think you, with some of the weight on the ground like that, you wouldn't be actually lifting the full weight, 'cause some of it would already be on the ground. So you should be able to lift it up. I'm sorry, this is getting kind of wordy, but you should be able to lift it up, and then look, then you don't have to put all those things together, and maybe it could save you some time on setup, and then you'd be essentially as fast as the guys with the smaller scopes or a little bit closer. But I don't think you can put your refractor on there like this Cassegrain. It's probably possible, but I think that for you could only do just the tripod. I mean, the tripod and mount together as one using this transporter thing, I think could save you some time, but it would be a lot of work just to make something like that, and in the end you probably end up wasting more time after making this, you know. But if you like doing projects and having fun, and I mean, you could like doing it, and maybe it ends up being not a good way to spend your time. But I noticed you liked working on stuff and doing projects and stuff, so I was just thinking about this randomly. It probably won't go anywhere, but and also, yeah, I was like looking at how much torque it is. So like up here, if you put handles up here, and if the center of mass is like 1.43 inches above the axe, the center rotation, and like if it's leaning this way, it was only like, at the worst case scenario, like down here, like if you're lifting up way out here, it was like only like lifting 5 pounds, because that's how much torque you have over everything with the way this worked out. So yeah, it would be a lot more manageable to move this thing around with the way I designed it, and like distributing the weight and getting the center of mass around the center rotation. And the reason why I don't think your refractor would work, it depends on how you're using it. But for me, I'm going to be wheeling it through my house and going through the hallway, like with my 33 inches sticking out this way, way out in front here, like 33 inches. If I go like try to do a 90-degree turn, like from my hallway into my bedroom, like the front of the scope will hit the hallway. It gets too long. But maybe you'd only be using it in your garage, and that doesn't matter for you. But I like, for me, I'm designing it specifically for my use. For your use would be different. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I have too much time on my hand. I'm just trying to use some of my engineering skills and have a little fun with it. But hope you like it, Tony. Godspeed.